guys, I'm just doing a small mod on the bike and figured I'd share it with you as I'm going along. I need the chopstick. Basically, the pedals on this model anyway stick out way past the pegs, which looks friggin' hilarious. Not to mention, you could catch a curb or someone else if you were close to them. What I found, the funny part is when I took the actual axle out, there is no bearings. It's basically a steel rod and a steel sleeve, and then a small little gear that's about the size of a Canadian loonie, which is pathetic. So that means you'd need 100 revolutions of the pedals for a half turn of the wheel. So these actually wouldn't work at all. Plus, if as you can see, the steel's already worn the paint off of it. So a couple of rainstorms, and that would rust up and swell, and this would fail to function. Even the gear was just a pin through the axle or the rod. There wasn't any Allen keys or anything. I just had to use a drill bit and knock the pin out. And this just C-clips holding the axle in there. So what I'm going to do is, I've already marked it, is I'm going to cut it right about there, and then I'm going to, I basically got a deal on a grinder on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description, but it comes with a cutter, a grinder, and a sander. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it here, and then I'm basically going to grind the ends down till it's like that. I might even tap the middle of it, or what I'll just do is I'll end up buying liquid metal or whatever and glue the cranks on, just for looks, right? I mean, it'll still work. It's just they're really tight up against the bike. But the cops won't care, because all they care about is that it has the pedals, so they can see that it's legit, right? So the pedals were sticking out like that, which was insane. This is probably the worst model for that. Even the Daymax are like way in over here, all the shorter cranks. So mine is going to be right about there, and it just passes the foot peg, so we should be all right. But what a difference! To be able to keep it flush with the peg, so that's safer. So we're gonna take this out and cut her up. Well, that worked better than expected when you had the proper tools. The grinder cut through this rod like it was butter. And there's the tapered side. And then you got the hole that's threaded for the bolt, which I'm not going to add. I'm probably going to use liquid metal or liquid wrench or whatever the hell it's called that you put on. It dries like steel. Liquid steel, I guess that's what it's called. But as you can see, it's as good as it's going to get. I can tap it on with a hammer, and she's not going to go anywhere. And then when I get this liquid metal, I'll squirt some in there and keep it from falling off. You're never going to have to remove it anyway. There really is no real serviceable parts. There's not even bearings. So when she seizes, she seizes. But at least it's legit. Let's throw it back on and see if we got any gained any distance from each side of the bike, because I know it was hard to get in the door with the way the pedals were. Big difference. Now they're pretty much lined up with the pegs, so they're not sticking out too far, and they're lined up pretty good, and they're still usable. And they cleared the they cleared the axle and the pegs, so it's all good there. That one's a little tight, but it still turns, so it'll pass any inspections. So it's doable. If you have one with really long axles, you can see the difference. Flush. I like it. Good enough. So you try to imagine putting an extra inch or 2 inches on that. It's way too much. So it's doable. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description for the cheap grinder that comes with 3 discs. Everything you need is there, and the rest you can just drill and tap or hammer them on and use some glue, metal glue. So Later, guys.